One of the scariest things in a horror game isn't actually the monster. Sometimes it's the people. A single NPC can completely change how terrifying a world feels. They can make you question what's real, who's lying to you, and whether helping someone is actually the right decision. So over the past few weeks, I've completely rebuilt my dialogue system, designed a new quest system inspired by games like Silent Hill 2 and the Souls games, added several strange new characters with their own stories, and made the monster much more reactive to everything the player does. Horror games can make or break the experience with NPCs. Sometimes having too little or none at all can be quite effective, but it can also be just as effective to sprinkle a few in and really build lore and show the effects of this horrible world on other people inside of it. One method that inspired me for this game that I particularly like is Silent Hill 2. The way they integrate other characters is absolutely incredible. The majority of the game is pretty much spent alone fighting your inner demons and wandering around this lonely town. But here and there, the game will sprinkle in a small but memorable interaction with another person. This person would be going through similar things to you, and it really adds a lot to the world. It shows how others in the game world are dealing with their problems and adds a little bit of tension. You don't know if these people are real or in your head, and you don't know if they're your friend or enemy. You don't really know anything about them, and it just makes things a lot more tense in my opinion. So this will be a huge inspiration for NPCs in my game. For now, I'm using this PSX character pack that was free on itch.io as a placeholder because they match the game's retro PSX vibe, and they're pretty creepy looking, especially since my 3D modeling skills are not at the point yet where I can make my own characters. In the future though, I'm heavily considering getting some custom models to match the game's vibe a lot more and make it actually unique. In order to add a new quest system to the game, I had to start by reworking my current dialogue. In the game, players can talk to NPCs, but there's only one conversation before it either stops or repeats. There's no dialogue trees, choices, or any way to integrate quests within this system. I started by adding more flexibility to the system, so now NPCs can have different conversations that can be chained together. So maybe one day the NPC will just have a simple lore dump, but then the other day they'll have a quest and something that they want the player to do. One of my primary uses for NPCs in this game will be for immersion and lore, but also progressing the game further. I plan on having different ways to beat the game, and some of the endings could be directly tied to what you do with these NPCs. When it comes to quest structure, I'm thinking something kind of inspired by the Souls-like quest system. Well, hold your horses, because to be honest, I kinda hate the Souls-like quest system, but there's one thing that I really like about them that I want to put in my game. They don't shove crazy checklists and UI menus onto the player. They're completely optional, low-key, and mysterious, which I completely dig. What I don't dig is the obscurity of them, and the fact that you probably need a YouTube video or wiki page to solve a quest. This is definitely something that I'm going to be avoiding with the quests in my game. Instead, when building quests, I want to have it so that NPCs will ask you something extremely clear-cut, and once you give it to them, they'll give you a reward. I'm not going to log them in menus, but the map will be relatively small, and it definitely won't be anywhere near the size of Elden Ring. So there's not going to be a ton of NPCs or complicated requests in this case. I'm hoping for the most part, players will be able to pick up and consistently complete at least a few of these, but we'll see when we play it. For now, I made 3 characters with their own sets of quests, locations, and lore. First, we got Sophie. You can find her in one of the locked hotel rooms, which can be unlocked by buying a key from the vending machine. Her room is a bit messed up with all the furniture flipped over in disarray. She'll give you some lore about how things are going on in this facility and ask you to get her some food. So next time if you return, you can bring her some food and she'll give you a nice reward. But you won't know what the reward is until you play the game, which is not going to come out for a while, but you know it will come out very soon. The first playtest for this game, which is going to be hosted on my Discord. So if you want to be part of that and leave some real feedback on the game, click the link in the description below to join my Discord. To add more variety to the setting, I added a new indoor pool room. I was completely inspired by all those liminal pool space rooms online, so I found a nice tile texture to match the vibe, and I'm using this goated PSX water shader that one of my viewers made, so go check out his itch page down below. This old man by the pool is in a delusional psychosis state, absolutely determined to catch a fish in the pool, even though there's not really any fish there. I guess a true man is able to catch a fish no matter his surroundings. He's going to ask you to bring him some meat to use as bait for the fish, and if you deliver to him, he's gonna give you a nice ice cold beer, which will give the player a 25% boost to their max stamina, which is absolutely huge in this game. Last but not least, we have the Drain Man. This mysterious guy is found below the ground in the kitchen and can be interacted with through the drain grate in the freezer. This person has been trapped in the sewer for an unknown amount of time, and he'll do anything to get the scraps from your kitchen. At the moment, he has nothing to repay you, but only relies on the good of your heart to keep on going. Whether you feed him or not will have some serious consequences on the story and different endings that the player can get. That's what I've got for all of the NPCs so far, but there is a new mysterious one that you're definitely going to want to see. If you think this game looks cool and you're considering playing it in the future, I finally made a Steam page for the game, so you gotta make sure to please click the link in the description below to go wishlist the game. It's only one button for you, but it means the world to me, so smack that wishlist button, baby. When it comes to a lot of the quest characters in the game, you'll notice that a lot of them like to ask for food, complain about being hungry, or stuff like that. Since the gameplay centers around cooking for an evil monster, I thought it would be an interesting idea for you to be pretty much the only person here with access to food, while everybody else in the facility is going through a deep, dark famine. But the idea of having free access to this food and being able to bring it back no problem didn't really make sense to me a lot in both the story and gameplay side of things. This would make quests a little too easy, and story-wise it wouldn't make sense that all these starving people can basically just walk in and grab a bite to eat. That's why I made it so that the monster you're feeding has an intelligent sense over its domain, and if it senses you trying to smuggle food onto the elevator, it's going to get very loud and terrifying. So in order to give the player an option to get food on the other side, I added a mysterious character to the game. This unknown man can be found in the outdoor courtyard behind the kitchen. He'll come out of the shadows and offer you a simple proposal. If you pay him a little bit of money, he'll smuggle anything you want back into the rest of the hotel. Hopefully this can make it so that the player can feel a bit more confined and imprisoned, and adding this mysterious figure can lead to some interesting gameplay moments in the future. You don't know if this guy is your friend or foe, and he looks kind of scary, so it's up to you if you actually want to deal with this guy. The whole goal of this game is that you cook a bunch of different meals and throw it down the pit where a monster is eating them all. In order to give the monster more of a presence as you play the game, I created a mini algorithm that will randomly play strange sounds of the monster groaning and singing throughout your playthrough. Not only this, it's also reactive to the player's actions. If you keep feeding him low-scoring meals or things that he just doesn't like, he will make his disappointment extremely loud. In one of my previous devlogs, I built a new upgrade system for my game, and one of the main upgrades are temporary boosts you get from smoking cigarettes. I decided to add an addiction mechanic to this so that if you smoke too many cigarettes, you'll start needing them and craving them. And if you go on long drawbacks without smoking them, your max stats like stamina and movement speed will slowly deplete. I had multiple viewers commenting and asking me this in previous videos, so shout out to you guys. Lastly, I added a ton of miscellaneous changes to the game. I had a lot more sound effects, fixed some bugs, and worked on building the backend for the save data system to prepare the game for a playable demo. So that's where the game is at for now. For the first time, it actually feels like the hotel is living people in it instead of just being an empty building. Every new character makes the world feel a lot more believable. There's still a ton left to do before release, but we're getting much closer to the first public playtest. So if you want to be one of the first people to play this game, join the Discord with the link in the description down below. And if you're genuinely excited to see where this project goes, don't forget to wishlist the game on Steam. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next devlog. And if you don't subscribe, I'm gonna eat all your cottage cheese, so watch out, buddy.